because you know, ghosts are very December. Hello strangers, I'm Hannah and this is an announcement video for the GhostAthon, which is the Strangeathon but in December, because everyone does weird Christmas names in December if you celebrate that. So this session of the GhostAthon will take place from the 20th to the 31st of December, and once again this is kind of a chill readathon. It's kind of based on the idea that those are kind of like a lot of the like dead days after Christmas, between New Year, because I feel like even when you're not at school there's like something weird about after Christmas till New Year, and I guess that's because maybe you don't feel that way if you don't celebrate Christmas, but that's just like a lot of dead space, it seems, after Boxing Day at least. I really wanted it to take place during those dead days, like after Christmas, but I thought we'd start a little bit before, so we have like 10-11 days, but you're probably busy during that time, so that's why I decided to be a bit longer. We also have 8 challenges with 2 bonus challenges this time, but with the bonus challenges it's really not something you should really think about. It just, like, if you can do the challenges, that's great, but if you can't do the bonus challenge, or you don't do the bonus challenge, well, one of them you can't aim for and shouldn't aim for. It will happen or it doesn't. The other one we'll get into when we get to the bonuses. If you want to keep up to date with the GhostAthon, we have a Twitter, and that's probably the best place to get up to date information. There's like no rules, test the challenges however you want, and let's just get into them. The first challenge is Ghosts of Past, Present and Future. Read a book from your timeline or the near future. So what this means is quantum leap years. So basically you can pick a book that takes place from your birth to now, like just like a contemporary that came out this year, or a book that takes place in the near future, which might be easier to do if you get arcs and then you're reading an arc that doesn't come out to the next month and it's set in that month and they're just okay. Or a dystopia that's kind of in the near future. For example, Slated by Terry Terry is kind of meant to be near future. That one's kind of harder to do, but it's, you know, you can read a contemporary or something that's, like, in my case, set in the 90s. You know, really depending on what your age range is. So the second challenge is Festive Time. Read a book set during a seasonal holiday. So obviously I'm very much in winter right now, but I know it's summer in other places, so I thought I would just put seasonal, and Australians and other people can decide what they want to do, what they could as seasonal. So obviously I'm in winter, so I'd probably pick something like Christmas or Hanukkah or other holidays. I don't know, there's not a lot, like, Hanukkah and Christmas seems to be the only books that I've came across that appear in books, but maybe you have some really good recommendations for books that are set in other seasonal holidays. Because, like, I know there is other holidays in winter besides those 2 things. Obviously New Year counts as a holiday. The winter solstice you could count as a holiday if they celebrate it. Because usually, like, the reason why there is so many winter holidays in different cultures and religions is because, like, the winter is so sad. We need something to have fun with. And also, it doesn't actually have to be a book about celebrating a specific holiday. It could just take place during a holiday. So, like, it literally just, well, the character could literally just say, oh, it's the winter solstice today. Moving on. The third challenge is Snow is Out to Get You. Pick a book where the weather or the setting plays a big part. Obviously, I was, like, thinking of snow for this challenge, but I mean, you can pick other types of weather if you want, like heat waves. I know there's a lot of books that do feature snow in some way, like Snow Ends is a big thing at least in horror. So I'm sure you'll find something. You can also choose to go something based on setting, which I think will probably be a lot easier to kind of pick on, because usually the description will say if a setting is really important or somehow, or you could just like look up psychoanalysis of books. Also put setting in just to make sure that people can definitely find things, so it's not like really challenging at this time of year. The fourth challenge is the year is dying. Read a book you regret not having read yet. So basically this is a book that's been on your TBR for this year and you haven't read it yet, but I know not everyone does like a proper really TBR, so just like a book that you thought sounded really interesting and you have access to it, but for some reason you just keep not picking it up, or like for whatever reason. I have a lot of books that I could read for this challenge, so this is going to be an easy one for me, and I hope it's a easy one for most people, because like a lot of like, you know, a lot of books you really want to read and just for some reason haven't yet. The fifth challenge is a Frightful Tale. Read a book you fear. This one you can read a lot onto it. What I was thinking is a book that you're very hesitant to read, maybe because it's massive, maybe because it's the sequel or it's the final book in a series, because I know some people get really anxious about finishing series if they really love them, you know, whatever. The sixth challenge is Picturest. Read a book with illustrations. The example I have written down here is Sherlock Holmes. So that's what I was thinking of when I wrote this challenge a year ago. Yeah, I wrote all these challenges a year ago and I'm only just using them now. So this is pretty self-explanatory. It could be something that's like a graphic novel or just something that just happens to have illustrations in it at certain points but isn't really a big deal. I mean, it can even be like a book that just has illustrations to end chapters and things, so, you know, illustrations, you know what that means, like pictures. I mean, actually I suppose specifically it should be drawings. I guess most pictures in books are drawn anyway, unless it's like a memoir and it has photographs. I'm not fussy, but you know what I mean. Illustrations is fun. I really like books with illustrations. The seventh challenge is Fairy Lights. Read a book you like the aesthetic of, the cover. I mean, you could just go by the whole book as well, because I know some books have really pretty things on, like, I keep meaning to look up the page, but you know, like how they'll have things on like they'll have pictures or they'll colour the actual pages now of books. Just something that's pretty. A book that's pretty. Because it's Christmas. Sometimes we just do stuff because it looks pretty. Because everything is dead outside. And last but not least is the eighth challenge. A Dead Holiday. Read a book with ghosts. In the past, I've been very lax about the challenges, but this is kind of the one where I'm like, no, don't just read something with a dead thing. Actually read a book with ghosts, because I think ghosts and winter go well souls together, so I really would like you all, if you choose to take part in the GhostAthon, to read a book with ghosts, because it is the GhostAthon. I like ghosts. Maybe as much as skeletons. Also, this kind of comes in the fact that, you know, it used to be tradition to read ghost stories on Christmas Day. So I thought that was fun. I know, like I said, you don't have to celebrate Christmas to do the GhostAthon. I've tried to make it so that the challenges ain't just Christmas. I know they kind of lean towards Christmas, but like they can be twisted for other holidays or if you just like winter. I mean, are fairy lights even that seasonal anymore? Time for the bonus challenges. So as always, we have the F up, which is to accidentally read a book that doesn't fit any of the challenges. This is a challenge that you cannot plan. It will happen or it won't. But we also now have the gag gift, which is to read a book that's barely a book. So this is based on the idea that I often get given books that are just not really that bookish. Like, it's mostly just like pictures or it's like a stupid joke. Like, for example, last year there was this influx of comedy picture books that were like taking these like classic children's picture book pictures and then putting really weird adult captions to them instead of what the original text used to say. So that was like an influx last year in the UK. So it's kind of like that idea. It's a book that you would probably give someone as a bit of a joke for Christmas as like an additional thing. So like 101 uses for a dead Kindle kind of idea. So that's all the challenges for the GhostAthon. I hope you like the challenges. Like I said, I wrote these a year ago and I haven't changed them much other than rewording them to be more precise. So I hope they're still good. If you are going to take part in the GhostAthon, please comment down below and comment if you do a TBR. I'm always interested to know how people take challenges, interest them or perform them. I will be doing a TBR hopefully soonest. Obviously I made a new logo for the actual GhostAthon. I should probably actually make a proper logo for the Strangeathon. But I'm wondering, do you guys like a new ghost icon? I don't know. I don't know if I like the hat. I would love feedback of any kind. Do you like a new ghost icon? Do you think I should name it? I haven't yet. It's a Christmas ghost, kind of. It's a holiday ghost. It's a holiday ghost. It's wearing a Santa hat because I decided I'm going to put a skull at the end of this because I feel like it needed to be more skully. So I will see you with us next time where I will be haunted with more ghosts. Farewell. I'm also wearing like trick or treat earrings and I don't think you can really read what they say. I do have Christmas earrings somewhere. But I don't know where they are, but I do know where the Halloween ones are. Do you like my ghost? Things you do so you're out the way while the camera picks up the background.